Hi guys, it's me Daniel Danibuttons, and we are on location today at my drawers, which are right behind my desk at all times. Today I'm going to do a video that I've been talking about doing for a while, and people have requested me to do, and I think it's finally time. We're going to talk washi tape in coloring books. So first I figured I would show you my collection, or at least a lot of it, and kind of discuss the different types of washi tapes. I think that people just use that term for all deco tapes at this point, but there are some differences that you might want to look out for if you are looking to purchase some. So let's just get right into it. This is my Disney collection of books, and that Shane actually gave me for my birthday. This is an Alex drawer system from IKEA. Pretty common. How many are these? 6 drawers? And 3 of these are washi tape. So I'm going to start at the bottom. This is like the leftovers, I guess. That's all of my holidays, mostly Christmas, a lot of Halloween, there's some Easter. This is a lot of the glitter ones. These ones, unfortunately, don't stand up. This isn't really, I'll get into it, my technicalities. Then this shelf is a little bit messy right now, but it is patterns and multicolors. So these are like icons, and that's like patterns, and then I had too many, and they're kind of on top, and I recently did a project where I had to take a whole bunch out. So that happened too. Also, I have no idea if you can hear Sam feverishly typing, so I really apologize if you can. He has a very loud keyboard. And then the top drawer is basically solids or like same color patterns. So obviously like purple on purple, and seems self-explanatory. This is getting a little unorganized. I really need to go through and look at stuff. But basically, what is washi tape? Let's get one that we know for sure. Washi tape specifically is a specific type of Japanese paper. So not everything is washi tape. Washi tape is a little bit translucent. I don't know if I can do this with one hand. Why I don't have a monopod or anything, it's beyond me. But it's a little bit translucent, so you should be able to see through it. And it's a very certain texture and consistency. A lot of things came out recently that are very popular that are essentially just deco tapes. Like these ones, this metallic one is a different texture, so that's probably not an official washi tape. We got very popular, all the Dollar Tree ones. I love them. They're a lot of fun patterns, but these are completely different. They're almost plastic feeling. Right now I have not opened this one yet, so it had the tape on it. So this is almost plastic feeling. This just won't stick the same way washi tape. Regular washi tape should basically stick forever, be all good. Some of this other stuff is more questionable. Some of my fakes, if you can call it that, I've had my collection for about 8-9 years now. In fact, if you go back, in fact, you might be recommended this video from me soon, but I had like a viral video that had almost 90,000 views about my washi tape collection in 2013. So I've had a lot of these a long time, and a lot of my old ones are starting to get too sticky that they don't really roll anymore. So I just want to mention that. But they're a lot of fun. A lot of people use them to put borders around their page. And if you go back to my old video, I can tell you a lot of different tips. I use them for decor. I use them to label things. I use them in my planner. And today we are going to use them in our coloring. So for coloring, I probably will be taking mostly from this shelf because we're going to want patterns that can stack and still look good. So if I'm stacking squirrels, you're going to see that it's 6 different rows of squirrels. But if I'm stacking just like a purple chevron, the pattern should repeat onto itself, so you can't tell. So that's my collection overlook. I do have some in other places. 1, because I'm sloppy and I just keep taking them out and not putting them away. And 2, I do keep a small drawer full on my desk right next to me so I can have them at hand. And the intention is to switch out every once in a while, but I don't. But yes, a lot of these are nearing 9-10 years old, and I definitely want to start using them even more. So now I'm going to go back to my desk and show you some examples of what I've already done, and then give an example of how you guys can do it too. So, okay, so first I figured I would show you some examples of washi things I've already done, and then I figured we could do one together and I would kind of talk you through what I do when I do this. So I definitely don't do it as much as I should, but obviously a lot of people will use washi tape as a border around their page, and I think that's super cute. It definitely like brightens the page, brings a fun element. To be honest, I don't know if I have ever done that, and I don't know why. I would like to start, because as you saw, I have the supplies. I should definitely just do that. But in this book, I actually made a washi background. So this is A Million Sloths by Lulu Mayo, and this image was just a circle in the center. And I asked Sam what I should do for the background, and he said bricks. And I was like, what? I don't know how to make bricks. But instead, I decided to take out my washi tape and do this. So I feel like it almost looks like a trellis in the background. I don't know. So this is just one gray washi tape that I layered over and over again. In some areas I was a little bit cleaner than others. In some areas the pattern matches up a little bit better, but I think the overall effect is what I wanted, that it looks like a cool background. So that's one example. Next, in Mickey and Friends, you might have seen this. This is essentially just paper piecing, but with washi tape instead. So I did this page as a buddy color with Shayna, and I tried to make him look like he was floating into outer space, and I did my different balloons in different washi tapes. So again, I just picked the color and did that, and I'm going to explain how now. So this, I wouldn't recommend doing double-sided pages, especially if you've never tried this technique before. If you can tell, I did cut through a little bit. I don't know if it's coming up. My camera's really far away because my next book is bigger, but I did cut through a little bit. It didn't really affect Tiana in any way. So I'm thinking of making this into like a Disney art journal anyway, which that would, like, then it's okay, I guess. I don't know. So it's really up to you, but I would recommend not doing double-sided books if you can avoid it, especially in the beginning. All right, the next one is the alphabet book. This is another French book. I've done 2 pages in here, but basically it is a character and the letter of their name behind them. And I've done 2 so far. This is the first one I did. This is my boy Tigger. And I just used oranges and blacks, and I kind of tried to make it striped, so I did 2 oranges and then 1 black all the way down. And for this one, I didn't repeat my pattern. I used all different washi tapes, I think. Let's see, I think I used this one twice. I probably could have gotten another one out, but I figured that's fine. And then I also did, this book's hard to flip because it's top loading, Olaf. So again, I used all different like metallic-y, snowflaked themes. These are all different. I repeated them, so it looks like I did them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, like 3.5 to 4 times each. And there you go. So overall, this one was a tiny bit harder to do because it's a more detailed overlapping image, and you can tell, or I don't know if you can tell, but I will expose myself that some of these areas probably should have been more tape, but it was a lot of details to work around, so I kind of left it. But today, we're gonna do Quasimodo. So, a few things. 1, I have not watched this movie in years. I don't remember anything about it. So that leads to 2, I probably will not finish this page. Definitely not in this video, but I don't know if I'm gonna finish it at all. So I hope that is not disappointing to anybody, but that's just the truth. But I picked this one because the queue itself is really unobstructed by anything, so it should be the easiest example of what we're doing here. And then I'm going to show you my basic tools. First, I picked a bunch of green washi. Quasimodo's shirt is green, and I just figured that would represent him pretty well. I think I am going to use all of them instead of just, for example, using the stripes and having it completely striped. I think we're going to mix it up. I think that's part of the fun. And then I personally use this tiny cutter, but you need really any type of X-Acto knife. So I have my big one and my tiny one, and that's just what you're going to cut through the washi. And then I have a little cutting mat. I have bigger ones of these. This is like a self-healing mat. This one I bought to work in magazines because it can fit through the pages. Obviously a bigger one is good. And this is single-sided. So if you wanted to just take this out and put a whole bunch of paper behind it to protect the next page, you could do that. But we really shouldn't be cutting through if we're doing this right. So use this at your own just caution. And also, we're using blades, so please be very careful if you're gonna try this. I also realized that there is a totally different way you could do this, and it's just an extra step. I have never personally done it before, but it would definitely work, which would basically be get another sheet of paper, put it on top, trace this out, and then just cover that other sheet and plop it, if that makes any sense. Let's see if I can show you a better book. So let's say I wanted to do Mickey's camera in the back. I would just get a white sheet of paper and then cut this shape out, cover that white sheet of paper with the washi, and then tape that on top. And I was thinking that could be a cool idea in maybe some of the books that are very intense with patterns, to kind of mute some of those patterns with washi tape. I hope that makes sense. But today, this is what we're gonna do. So, what I do is I take whatever washi I want to use first. I don't really have a preference. I guess I'm just gonna stack these so no stripes are next to each other. And then I'm just gonna go in order and keep going around and around. Okay, and I take my tape and I go across. My monopod's in the way, and I kind of just like lightly push it down. I have tons, so I don't really worry about excess. So now I think you can see, can you see? Should I zoom? Shoop. You can see the background right through. So now I take my little blade. I'm just used to this one. You could very much use an X-Acto. I don't think I would recommend using scissors because it would be much harder to control them, and they're not meant for this, so they're not sharp enough in my experience. And then I just very lightly trace over the dark lines. Very carefully. Zoop. And then once you've traced over the whole lines, you should be able to just peel it up. Like that. So let me do it again on the top. Trace very lightly on the lines. Hopefully if you press a little too hard, it will be again on that black line, so it won't be noticeable. And for this page, it is single-sided, so we don't have to worry about ruining anything else. And the reason you want to do this with real washi tape is it will not damage your picture. Pulling it up, you do still need to be careful because sometimes the paper will get stuck a little extra. You just have to peel very carefully. I usually just stick that all to me. So then there you go. So then we'll take our next one and do the exact same thing. I just go in a straight line, align it up with its neighbor, and cut very carefully. So if we were doing a pattern, you would want to line up the pattern as best you could, which is why, depending on what type of project you're doing, might determine what type of tape you use, because repeating patterns are much easier to line up. And then again, I've cut both sides, so I just kind of use my little knife to peel an edge so that I can rip, or I guess, again, carefully peel. Can you see any of this? I hope so. And then very carefully again along those black lines. That's why I really like this technique in this book for a few reasons. One, in my opinion and my skill level, this book would be difficult to make the letter look good and solid. I think I just would have trouble making it look even. Maybe less so now that I'm a little better with my alcohol markers, but I very much like the storybook look, if that makes any sense. So my preference would not to be to do a watercolor or ink in this book specifically. So this is a great way to cover large spaces without worrying about streaking or anything. And then, hold on. See how easy this is working? And it's gonna just fill right up. But it's definitely a lot of fun to add pattern to this, because again, if I wanted to just use that chevron, I can make this whole Q chevron and it would look nice and neat and professional without having to do very much. Oh. Make sure you cut all the way to the edges. The nice thing about washi is it's very repositionable, very movable. So if you made a mistake, it's easy to peel up and just try again. I'm going to try to keep those in order so that if I need to go loop through them again, it's easy to figure it out. Now, of course, if like Quasimodo was hanging over the queue, you would just have to worry about cutting around him more specifically. So you just have to be careful. Oh, see, this is one of my older tapes. This is Elmer's brand, so this probably isn't official washi and just more of a deco tape, but just got to get it started again, and usually it'll be fine. It might not be. Can you see that? It's too sticky. Yeah, that might be a dud. Oh no. I know I'm covered. One moment. Yeah, some of these tapes are super, super old. I'm wondering if I like just continue to use them, if they would stay new, if that makes any sense. Almost like nail polish, that if you don't shake it in a really long time, it settles, but then once you use it, it gets better. So we'll see. But, so yeah, do you have any washi tape? What have you used it for? Let me know. A lot of questions I get about where I found all my tapes. Again, uh-oh, another dud. No, this one I can save. I will save this one. Most of my tapes are very old, but I've gotten them at all different places. I got a bunch at Michael's throughout the years. That's one of the biggest spots. I've got a bunch on just online. I used to, I don't know if anybody remembers when Facebook before like Marketplace. Oh, yeah. You're just watching me struggle live. This isn't my favorite thing. This one's about to get called too. Sometimes the edges have issues and then they peel up. So on to the next one. We will worry about that later. I think this came in the same pack as the other one, so but we'll see. I just bought them everywhere. For me, when they first started coming out, I was so obsessed that anytime I would see one, I would buy it. So I really have not purchased much washi tape in recent years. I did just buy a pack at Michael's. Oh no, my goodness, this is embarrassing. The other day. Sam, can you grab me some green washi tapes? I'm having some problems with some of these. I think this is just really a good example of continue to use your supplies and don't just let them sit there and hoard them forever. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's see if any of those works that he picked. And again, if you have a smaller collection and didn't want to waste this in the middle, you could always do this in 2 strips. But again, you saw my collection. We have enough to spare, especially for an example. So, yeah, this is definitely an example of don't let your supplies sit for 10 years and not use them, because then they might not work when you need them. Some of these I can probably save. If I have an issue with them, I'll just use my X-Acto knife and cut down a few layers. So you do lose a little bit, but if it makes it work overall, it's usually worth it. But in my original video that went viral, I gave a lot of different tips and a lot of different ways to use washi. So I will go through some of that again. Why not? I use it for decor. So you can just cover full things with these tapes and makes it look nice. I, at the time, had these fun initials, I guess, monograms, I guess, that I had hanging on my office wall that I covered in tape. So I did like all of my favorite colors, all the purples and the yellows, and that looked really cool. Another fun thing I use these for is to label wires. That might be a surprising one, but it's very easy to write on washi tape. Uh-oh. So I would just write like TV and then roll it around the cord, and when you're looking at your power supply and don't know which cable's which, it's easy to see the washi tape. Hopefully you can see. If I get stuck, I just use my little knife and peel it up. Let me do one with my X-Acto to show you that it's the same thing. I think if anything, the X-Acto is a little easier to use, but therefore you need to be a little more careful that you don't press too hard. At the end, we'll check to see if anything's going through, but so far, so good. Yeah, I use my washi in my planner and on my wall calendar to decorate, of course, but also to mark off different things. So if we have something happening for a longer period than just one day, I'll use the tape to make lines on the calendar. So when we had the painters here for nearly 2 weeks, I had some nice purple washi, marking that out. Vacations I'll mark out with washi. And again, my collection's so extensive, I do themed washi for that too. Usually I pick a color for every week and try to match everything to it. What else? Peeling it up. But yeah, I would like to use it more in my coloring books. Again, I just have a personal problem with I can be too lazy sometimes to do the cool stuff. But it's fun, it makes a different look, and I have it all already. So why not? Like, I don't need to go out and buy anything. And I can do a lot of cool techniques right here. I've seen a lot of this in the scrapbooking world and like stamping and card making, and I really want to do more of it in that capacity. This is embarrassing again. People make some really cool art where they'll like stamp a picture of a girl and then they'll use the tape to make her clothing or something like that. And I think that always looks really beautiful. Okay, there we go. So, there we go, there we go. Can you still see? I'm gonna move you down a little bit. Hopefully zoomed in is a good view. This is another really old one, so fingers crossed. I can't tell if the washi craze is dying down or not, because they're definitely still sold in stores a lot and new collections come out all the time. But for a while, at least in my world, washi was the thing to get. Uh-oh, I cut this one a little bit too close or over the line, but that's all right. It won't be that noticeable. I think I'm going to switch back to my other blade only because I keep putting this down without capping it, and that is not very safe. So this one is much easier to just kind of go up and down with. But yeah, so again, do you have washi? Have you ever tried washi in your coloring books? Do you want to try washi in your coloring books? Do you have a favorite washi? I actually also have a washi inventory. I should break that out. But I basically have a notebook that I keep samples of all the tape I have because I started to buy doubles of stuff because I forgot I had it. So I have it all sectioned off in different, like each color has its own page, and then the icons have a page, each holiday has a page. And that helped for when I was buying new stuff. And it also helped for when I was like doing my planner and I just needed to find a green or whatever it may be. It was really easy to flip to that page and then see which one I wanted. I used to play with Sam that I'd be like, okay, Sam, find the bunnies. And he'd be like, the bunnies. And then he'd go to the drawers and try to find the bunnies. So, make a game out of it. I'm glad. I was thinking of doing multiple examples, but I think this will take enough time. We're about halfway through our queue. I was also trying to not just give you Disney examples, but I think personally I try the hardest in my Disney books because, one, they're so expensive, but I love them so much. So, sorry about that. But you don't need to do this in a Disney book. You can do it wherever you so choose. I have the song that Sam's obsessed with in Beat Saber stuck in my head, Samuel.
You're welcome.
I just want to whistle it, but I'm such a good whistler, they might copy strike me. Just kidding. Kind of, I don't know. I don't know what gets you copy strikes. So, yes, with my little cutter in the back, I've just been moving it down with us as we go. I think I'm gonna flip it because if you see, I have the arrows pointing in the other direction up there, so we can mix it up the tiniest bit. I think I definitely am going to incorporate more tape into my daily life. I gotta get through some of these, and that way if I get through some, I can buy more, right? That's always the best part about using stuff up. I just bought the other day. It was in my haul because it was buy one, get two free. And the washi is one of the choices. So I got a new set of that. And two paper pads. I almost just ripped this page right out of this book. That would have been unfortunate. Yeah, Scotch makes a lot of tapes. And they'll sell them at Staples and other office supply stores. So if you're looking to start your collection, they also sell the Scotch brand at Target. But a lot of those tapes have been the same ones for years and years. So, which if you're just starting out, that's perfect. But if you already have a large collection, you might have already seen or owned some of those. And then I also showed you and didn't talk about my glitter tapes and things like that. Those are completely not washi because they're just a very different texture. So they're still fun to use, but they don't really work the same way. You can't see through them, so it's much harder to do this. Not impossible, but harder. I'm also thinking that if it's hard to see through your tape, you might be able to use a light board. Like if you're a diamond painter also and have a light board. Uh-oh. Gotta cut through, there we go. So, but I didn't want to break that out for right now because I think I can see pretty good with this image. We're getting to a hard part again. So, now we have multiple shapes to cut around. But I just keep lining it up. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, thank you everyone who enjoyed my mandala a day video. That was my last video and I think you guys liked it. I was worried that I hyped you up too much and it wasn't as exciting as that I thought it would be or something. But that was how I got so many pages done last month. Doing one a day does that. Thank goodness it was a short month. I don't know if I could have handled 3 more. And it's really fun premiering videos, which if you've never been to a premiere, it's basically, I'm also sitting there watching it for the first time live. And then we all chat, or you don't have to, you can just watch. But it's fun because everyone talks to each other and they're like, hey guys, how you doing? We're almost at the bottom. I'm also probably gonna push everything off my desk, but we'll try not to. Almost made it without interruption. So close. That's all right. I don't even know what I was saying now. This always happens to me. But no, I would love to see if anyone else tries this. I was thinking while I was paused that I don't know why I thought of this. Like, I see so many amazing beyond colorists who can layer and do all this fancy stuff and like think of the coolest stuff, know how to do backgrounds at all. But you know what I thought of? Washi tape. So, uh-oh. Uh-oh, we got another dud. Don't dud in the middle. I've already used you once. I gotta go around once. It gets stuck to itself, so that was like a 2-layer one. Luckily, that's the last time this tape has to be used for right now, so. Also, while we were paused, I put an M&M in my mouth. So I'm sorry if you can tell. Chewed that up. All right, back to flip round 3. Probably only need the first 2 or 3 tapes. And we will be donezo in a second. Whoa, almost only need this 1 tape. Can you still see? I think so. Nope, can't do that. Oh, Samuel, it's in my head real bad. I don't even know what the song is. I don't even get to listen too much because he keeps failing. Exposed.
Extremely difficult.
Sorry, this is the focus moment. See how beautiful? And finally, our last little bit of striped tape at the bottom. Let me just get this out of the way. All right, scoopity-doop. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. What do you think? Let's zoom all the way out if I can. Stand up. So there it is. Here's my fun pile of extra doobly boos. Oh, it's stuck to my finger. That's a mess. Whew. And let's take a peek at the back. You're definitely not going to be able to see it because there is nothing to see. So really, I didn't go through anywhere. You can almost feel it the tiniest bit right here. So I probably pressed into the paper, but we were nice and careful and didn't make any mistakes today. So I definitely do sometimes. So I, again, definitely, especially if it's your first time using a single-sided page until you get a little better at it. And then you can probably use a double-sided page. If you were doing straight lines, you could always bring in a ruler to help you with those lines. Yeah, this is a cool technique to cover up stuff or to fill in stuff or to add borders, whatever you want. So please let me know if you're going to use washi. Where I had that issue with the one, I have a double layer down here is what I'm trying to fix a little bit, but I might not worry about that until later. But again, I might not do this page. Okay, I'm worrying about it now. All right, fixed up. I might not color this page, but this is fun anyway. And for me, I don't even necessarily consider this a whip. Like, this was the project. So I finished what I set out to do, and I just think it's cool and fun. I might even continue to do that in this book, this technique, and maybe work through my alphabet this way and not always worry about the background. There's a few different stylistic choices in this book with this style, but that is the video. This was fun. If you made it to the end, let's say wood grain. We've definitely not said that before. And I thank you so much. Like this video down below. Subscribe. I'm a fun time. Comment anything you want to comment. I will be back in 2 days with something new. And that's the end. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.